How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. So today I want to talk about Binance, Bitcoin, kind of relationship between the US equities market and what's happening within cryptocurrency. But before I do, I just want to bring your attention to this video here on my YouTube channel, The Devastating Cost of Trading. I would really appreciate it if people watch this video, share this video. I don't really care about the rest, to be honest, but this one's very important to me because it shows a little bit of the dark side of trading, what can happen to traders and investors, who end up on this kind of spiral downwards when they're investing and trading and using money they're not supposed to be using, or kind of getting ahead of themselves, or they end up taking a large loss. And this can really affect people in such a negative way, that they end up in a very dark place, and it's one of those videos that I'd really appreciate basically that people share. It's definitely something that needs to be spoken about. It's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And if anybody's experiencing anything like this, come to the Discord. The link's in the description below. DM me, and I'll do my best, to help out in any way that I can, because I know what this feels like. So going over to, the charts, one of the things that I want to bring your attention to is this kind of disparity between US equities, the indices, and cryptocurrency, right? Because what's happening is generally when you see a drop like what we're seeing on the NASDAQ, for example. This is the weekly chart of the NASDAQ. If you go down to the hourly chart, we can see that we've had this pretty decent drop for the entire week. Markets are just bleeding. We finally cracked the 12,000 level, and now we're sort of down here at 11,845. This could easily recover. Obviously, we've got today and tomorrow. We have two impact or high impact news events. We've got unemployment claims and ISM numbers. So, these can easily push prices back above 12,000. But this bleed really should have, kind of bled over into cryptocurrency to the point where Binance should be a little bit lower, at least to number one down here. Now, obviously, we've already discussed this, that there isn't really much left, down here in this area, in terms of, LP. So as price is driving, it's probably going to run a little bit deeper into this, and I was saying on Twitter recently, 280 is probably on the cards for this week. If it doesn't happen this week, I think it's going to happen anyway, to be honest, because we're not really seeing that relief. But the thing is, that drop on the NASDAQ should have really put us down here. We should really be around about 280 at the moment. 290 at the moment. We're currently sitting around about 298. Somebody did mention, 280 seems a little bit excessive. Not really. I mean, 20 points down to, or $20 down to 280 is absolutely nothing, in terms of, if somebody sells, we get an influx of sellers coming into the market, people pulling their money from cryptocurrency. Binance going down to 280 is absolutely nothing. So it's very easily done effectively. Now, that's what I'm expecting on Binance. If we go over to Bitcoin, we can see Bitcoin's holding up a little bit better. Number one is absolutely key. We really need to maintain this above 20,000 level. If it gets below this swing point, it is likely that we're going to run into this large candle and start to drive towards number two, which is obviously going to be, sort of sub 20,000. But so far, so good. It seems to be holding pretty well. And if it maintains this hold here, then it is likely that we get back above these highs, 25, 25.5, 26, and potentially start to drive towards that 28,000 to 30,000 level. But again, the bearish sentiment for me is still in play. I'm not convinced in any way, shape, or form that these markets are recovering in any way. Right? I still believe that we're going to be hitting, some pretty decent numbers to the downside. Obviously, this much larger level at 11,655 that I was calling for, for quite some time. A lot of people that have been following me will know, I call levels, and then sometimes it can take 6 months to a year for these levels to get hit. But if you look around what's happening globally, a lot of different economies around the world, what's happening in the US with the debt, and with inflation and with increased, sort of interest rates and all of the things that we've been discussing recently, and ongoing, it's very unlikely that we're going to see anything other than downside, to be honest. Any of these rallies are going to be met with some severe selling pressure at some point. So we have to be very, very careful and make sure that we are being patient and trying to accumulate in areas where it absolutely makes sense. So I'll leave the video at that. I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, and I will speak to you in the next update. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.